Now, the Gauteng Investment Conference kicks off this morning in Johannesburg. Let's cross now to SABC News reporter Liabo Setho for more. Liabo, good morning. So this, of course, following on yesterday's adoption of the budget, that's still looming large. Many people talking about that. But the show goes on. The provinces also have to get on with it and make sure that they are able to supplement the budget as best they can. So what are we expecting there from the Investment Summit?
Good morning, Sakina. Good morning to everybody at home. Well, yes, the showdown is about to begin here at Melrose Arch here in Johannesburg. The Gauteng government is aiming to collect about 300 billion rand in investment pledges today. It believes that the Gauteng province is well poised to help the broader economy to achieve its 3% economic growth target for this year. There's a lot of visitors that are going to be coming. We're expecting the Deputy President Paul Mashatile to be addressing at around 12:20, Sakina. There's also be a couple of CEOs from different companies, for example, like Ford, who will be coming. And yesterday, the MEC for Finance and Economic Development, Lebkhang Maile, told us that there will be investment pledges that will be announced today. And, he says, given the size of the Gauteng Gauteng province, it's not surprising that they can try to be as ambitious as they are. This 300 billion is on the short term, by the way. In over 5 years, 3 to 5 years, they're actually targeting 800 billion in investments. But I'm going to bring in Mr. Saki Zamklaka. He's the CEO of the GPF, the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller, to give us a lowdown of what exactly they're hoping to walk away with at the end of the conference today. Saki, thank you so much and welcome to SABC News. What are you hoping to walk away with at the conclusion of this conference? I've just been giving Sakina a lowdown of what can be expected and some of the people that will be in attendance.
Good morning and thank you. So as you said, the main thing here is that we want everyone to live with confidence that there are investments happening in the economy because we've brought partners that we're collaborating with in the private sector and state-owned companies and other government departments. So it's a showcase of what actually is happening in Gauteng, because we know the economy is not going to grow without investments, and that's why in the first year we targeted 300 billion rands, and we don't want that to just be pledges. So this conversation doesn't end today. We'll follow up with all of these companies. Are the investments happening? If they are not happening, what are the causes of the delays and how do we resolve them?
Yeah. Yesterday, quite an important announcement that we were waiting for the US to see what kind of tariffs would be slapped on South Africa. 30% it is. How does this affect Gauteng and your plans for the longer term? And even those companies that are already, under AGOA operating in Gauteng?
Well, I think this is something most countries and economies in the world expected, that the US will impose some tariffs in different areas. The one side is that it is going to increase the price of some of these goods into the US market, may make us less competitive in the medium to long term, but it's also really an opportunity for us to diversify our economies, because as the world is becoming uncertain, it's clear that you can't have over-reliance on certain goods. So I think it's a lesson for South Africa on how we diversify our economy so that we're not susceptible to some of these risks. But I think it's just realignment happening everywhere in the world. It's not just us affected by these tariffs.
Your thoughts with regards to yesterday's budget vote? That was another big event that happened. I do understand that even if it was not passed, you would still be able to get your allocation as a province. What are your thoughts with regards to that?
Well, again, I think it's one of those things where you can see in South Africa at every moment where there appears to be uncertainty, we find a way to get over it. So I think for investors, we're saying South Africa is a mature democracy. There's going to be, delays and this and that. We don't know what's going to happen, but generally the machine keeps moving.
Saki, thank you so much. I'll catch up with you a little later on. Thank you so much. Sakina, he says the machine keeps moving irrespective of what's happening. With regards to the trade tariffs that were announced yesterday by the US, he says this is the time for South Africa to diversify. But what can Gauteng bring to the table today with this investment conference? And how many people or companies will be pledging and of how much? That remains to be seen, and we'll be with you throughout the day to give you those details as they happen. And it's back to you in studio. Sakina?
Well, thank you so much, Liabo Setho, out at the Gauteng Investment Conference, and she'll keep us up to speed with the developments there.